I am William IV, by the grace of God, King of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. My reign began in the summer of 1830, a time of turmoil and transformation. At the age of 64, I ascended the throne following the death of my brother, King George IV. My path to kingship had been unconventional. Born the third son of King George III, I had spent much of my life in the Royal Navy, earning the nickname the Sailor King. Little did I know that my experience at sea would prepare me for navigating the stormy waters of governance. The years of my reign, though brief, were filled with profound change. From the outset, I was determined to serve as a more accessible and affable monarch. My late brother's extravagance and aloofness had alienated many of our people. I took a different approach, appearing in public often and embracing my role as a constitutional monarch who worked with Parliament rather than against it. One of the most significant events of my reign was the passage of the Reform Act of 1832. The electoral system in Britain was deeply flawed, with rotten boroughs sending representatives to Parliament while burgeoning industrial cities remained unrepresented. Pressure for reform mounted, and though I personally harbored reservations about sweeping change, I recognized the necessity of compromise. The people demanded a voice, and Parliament eventually delivered. I supported the Act, even when it required dissolving Parliament and calling a general election. This decision, though controversial, preserved the stability of our nation and laid the foundation for modern democracy. My reign was also marked by colonial and international challenges. The abolition of slavery, which had long been debated in our empire, was another pivotal moment. In 1833, the Slavery Abolition Act was passed, ending slavery in most parts of the British Empire. Having witnessed the horrors of the slave trade during my naval career, I was relieved to see this abhorrent practice abolished, though I knew the transition to freedom for enslaved peoples would be fraught with difficulty. At home, I sought to modernize the monarchy. I minimized the pomp and ceremony that had characterized my brother's reign, striving instead to foster a sense of connection with my subjects. I moved into Buckingham Palace, newly completed, and began the tradition of royal engagements that would grow in importance over the years. My court, though smaller and less extravagant, was lively and welcoming. My personal life, too, was the subject of much public interest. Before becoming king, I had lived openly with the actress Dorothea Jordan, and together we had 10 illegitimate children. As king, I was married to Queen Adelaide, a woman of great piety and grace who brought stability to my later years. Although we were unable to have children of our own, her support and dignity were a source of strength for me. As I reflect on my 7 years as king, I see a period of transition. My reign may not have been long or glamorous, but it was a bridge between the old and the new. The monarchy became more constitutional, the country more democratic, and the empire more just. My successor, Queen Victoria, inherited a nation poised for greatness and change. I take pride in having played my part in steering Britain toward the future. Now, I await the judgment of history. I was not the grandest of monarchs, but I hope I was a king who served his people with sincerity, humility, and purpose. Let my epitaph read, "He did his duty, and he loved his country."